Tonight on Philly Sports Spotlight, I look back at the Florida high school football connection and now making noise here in the Northeast. And a revisit with the Sixers holiday gift that just keeps on giving. And who in their right mind would give children bladed weapons and say, go play? Hello there and welcome to Philly Sports Spotlight. I'm Phil Andrews, and tonight we bring you a rewind edition of the show as we re-air some of the stories that have helped us get started. But first, a quick word about embattled Eagles head coach Andy Reid. I think it's clear to everyone, including Andy, this will be his 14th and final season as head coach. The last 5 years have been a struggle, to say the least. When Big Red first arrived in Philadelphia, he breathed life back into a franchise that was on life support, and we all jumped on board. 5 NFC title games, a Super Bowl, and numerous NFC Division East crowns. No, his teams did not bring us the Lombardi Trophy, but neither have his predecessors. As a fan, I don't think any of us would disagree that Andy's tenure was a total loss, but as in life, everything comes in full circle. And once again, the Eagles franchise is in desperate need of a breath of fresh air. 2012 has been especially tough on Andy and his family, both personally and professionally, and if ever there was time for a change, that time is now. Now, speaking of the Eagles, during halftime ceremonies of Monday night's game against the Carolina Panthers, the Eagles inducted former cornerback Troy Vincent into the team's Hall of Fame, along with venerable ticket manager Leo Carlin.
Hi, this is Leo Carlin. How can I help you? Oh, I do appreciate that. Thank you. Go Eagles to you. Well, let me tell you, unfortunately, we don't have any tickets available for that game at this time.
Eagles ticket manager Leo Carlin is what one would call a long-time employee. How long, you ask? Well, consider the fact that when Leo first started working in the team's ticket office, Dwight D. Eisenhower was president, and a gallon of gas cost just 31 cents. Well, here we are 53 years later, and Leo is on the verge of being inducted into the Eagles Hall of Fame.
Jeffrey Lurie made a significant phone call, but here's how it played out. His assistants said to me at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Jeffrey wants to talk to you, and he needs you to be available. He may not be able to make it between 4 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Well, talk about agony. That was 6 hours agony, I can assure you. Finally, at 9:45, he called me, and he was fantastic. He said, I'm calling you to tell you myself that we're inducting you into the Eagles Hall of Fame.
Now, Carlin has worked at ticket offices at Franklin Field, Veterans Stadium, and of course Lincoln Financial Field. But being enshrined alongside some of the Eagles greats is somewhat overwhelming.
I think about that. You know, I walk past those names almost every day of my working life here, and I would see these names and think, gee, I know these guys. Isn't that wonderful? And along with it, knowing them, 90% of them are my friends. People like Eric Allen, Randall Cunningham, Chuck Bednar, Stan Walters, and of course, one of the great people who defined the word friendship, Dick Vermeil.
Of course, the obvious question, Leo, when do you stop? When do you step down? When do you step away? Or
it's not in my plans.
Okay, that's what I like.
I can't. You know, there's such a thing as we all probably are, both players and non-players. There's somewhat of an addiction to the game, and I'm guilty. I love the Philadelphia Eagles.
Leo Carlin, a.k.a. the Energizer Bunny, if you will. Last week, Temple running back Montel Harris rushed for a conference record 351 yards and 7 touchdowns in a 63-32 win over Army. For his efforts, Harris was named Big East Offensive Player of the Week. Well, as Joby Smith reports, Montel just one of 2 former Florida high school stars making noise in the Big East Conference.
The journey to college football success for both Montel Harris and Juwan Jamison started on the first coast of Jacksonville, Florida, where high school football is played at the highest level. Harris was an all-state running back at Trinity Christian, and Jamison played for perennial state champion Bowles and legendary coach Corky Rogers. talking about bowls back in the days, man, winning state championships set a nice foundation for you. But now you're on a team that is on a run here in the Big East.
I mean, like you said, bowls, you know, they set the foundation. Coach Rogers, Coach Howard, Coach Barrett, Coach Walker, all those guys, they did a tremendous job, you know, bringing me up and teaching me, you know, that when you get down, you can't quit. When it gets rough, you can't quit. When times are hard, you can't quit. You know, they just set that foundation.
I just think it's the atmosphere down there. Football is real big. Everyone, high school games are packed. A lot of people come out to support high school, so I just think it's really competitive down there.
One of the most productive backs in NCAA football, Montel has many career 100-yard rushing games and gives credit mostly to great conditioning and durability.
I'm a great, durable back, able to get a lot of touches, and just my work ethic. I thrive on being a workhorse, so being able to take enough carries and get those 100-yard games, that's a great accomplishment. 22
of those 100-yard rushing games came during Montel's first 3 years at Boston College, where he's still their career leader with 3,735. Meanwhile, in Piscataway, Juwan Jamison, the redshirt sophomore, looked to become the first Rutgers back to reach 1,000 since Baltimore Ravens All-Pro Ray Rice did it in 2006. What's the interaction been like with you and Ray Rice?
I've seen him in the spring games when he was coming back and he talked to me. He told me, that my name, I got myself out there. I got my foot in the door. He's like, just take it, just keep going, just keep working hard, just keep doing what you're doing, and run that hard. He said, finish my runs and finish everything that I do, and just keep working hard. You know, my mom came up here. She was like, this is the place. I love this place. You know, we used to watch Ray Rice, sit at home, watch him. She's like, this is the place. You're just like him. You're built just like him. You run just like him. This is the place. And, you know, I fell in love with it. I came up here for her. You know, I'm doing it for her. That's my mom. I love her. And just keeping it going.
When Temple hosted Rutgers in a Big East battle back in October at Lincoln Financial Field, both men were the catalyst for their respective offenses and showed mutual respect for each other's performances.
It's good to see people from the same area do well, but not against us. We wanted to get the win.
Was he inspiring to watch him out on the field?
Oh, yeah. The way he ran after contact and the way he was hitting the hole, that gave me the drive to, I got to do better. I got to step my game up. I got to run hard. I got to break tackles. I got to make the first man miss. Seeing him made me push myself.
This is the final collegiate season for Harris in Philly, and his great resume certainly provides a way for him to continue playing on NFL Sundays.
The primary objective is to have a successful college career and move on to the NFL.
The script's still being written, man, and you're here, you're winning at Rutgers. What's next?
What's next? I mean, hopefully the NFL's next. That's my ultimate goal. It's been my dream since I've been a kid, and I told my mom that's my ultimate dream. That's what I want to do, and hopefully it happens for me.
Once again, Joby Smith reporting. One quick side note to report on that story. Rutgers, after 20-plus years, is leaving the Big East Conference in 2014 to become the 14th member of the Big Ten. Okay, folks, time for this week's trivia question. Temple's Montel Harris setting a new Big East single-game rushing record with 351 yards. Whose record did Harris break? That answer coming up a little bit later on in the show. Also coming up, a talk with Sixers guard Jrue Holiday.